I have been in ministry and around the church long enough that I was reminded when Nancy Brink was speaking that I am a very proud graduate of Chapman College. About several years before Chapman became a university with the law school and other business school and other graduate schools. I'm also a graduate of what we call the School of Theology at Claremont before it changed its name to Claremont School of Theology. And now, as it has moved to the campus of Willamette University, I really am a legacy. I've been around long enough to be a legacy, and that's kind of both fun and daunting and humbling all at the same time. Thank you for this time as I highlight some of the material that you can find more fully in the written report, as you'll hear from me and Kunmin Daniel Lee and Monica and Haley, as we highlight some of the ministries that are happening on your behalf throughout our region. I'm grateful to God and I'm grateful to you for the work that we continue to do together in these days and in the days ahead. I'm looking forward to the time when we will be able to gather face to face without masks and without physical distancing so that we can enjoy all that we miss while we are apart. Thank you for being here today, and thank you for just showing up. This year, as you've heard, as we all know, has been hard and it has been exhausting as we have dealt with this tidal wave of pandemic and protest and online everything. And we are in an incredibly contentious election season as well. So I invite your prayers for our country, for our church, for the world in these next several weeks. We call ourselves disciples is our theme, and I think in lots of ways is our declaration. It's one of the ways we live out that theme is by living out our call, as General Minister President Terry Owens has called us to do. We live out our call as the Christian Church Disciples of Christ in Northern California and Nevada by being the church we say we are, as members of a particular denomination, as we are a movement for wholeness in a fragmented world. And that means seeking wholeness amongst ourselves, looking at where we are divided and we are fragmented, and all of the ways as we as the church have contributed to part of the world's fragmentation. That's work we have to do. But we are also a region committed to telling the story of who we are as we support our ministries and the ministries they help to lead, as we continue to offer opportunities for leader development, as we will in a series of webinars and Zoom gatherings beginning next month, as we continue to grow our commitment to being an open and inclusive region. One of the ways that we can do that is by sharing in the kind of engagement that I describe in my report. That we will be engaged through better and regular communication, making full use of our regional voices. And if you don't subscribe to Regional Voices, Jim will be happy to receive your email and put you on that list. It is the major way we communicate information in our region. And so we want you to be aware of things that are coming up. So please subscribe to Regional Voices. We are also on social media, and Jim can get you connected with those things as well. If you're not on Facebook, our Facebook page, if you haven't joined or are part of our Twitter page and our Instagram page. So we'll engage through communication. We will engage through regular meetings with ministers for learning and personal sharing. And those will be virtual and online gatherings planned for the rest of this year and into next year. We will engage the work of putting our hands to our identity through a miracle day that has been, we're beginning to have some conversations with Eva Bray at Fruit Ridge Christian Church in Sacramento. As soon as it is safe to do so, we will begin to work together with that congregation to make the building that houses their ministry and that hosts their worship as fully welcoming and functional as it can be. You will hear today about some challenges facing the community of the Great Commission. And while we work on keeping the camp sustainable, we are continuing to be grateful for all of those ways that outdoor ministries, and you'll hear their report in a few minutes, kept camp and conference alive this summer, how we were able to honor our seniors, and how we expect to have a full camp and conference program next year. And lastly, throughout this pandemic, there have been Zoom gatherings of clergy and lay people designed to share information and designed to help us share some of our own experiences. We had in July and August 3 very fruitful conversations around what it means to be a church committed to a deep Christian spirituality. What does it mean to be a region and church with a sense of community? What does it mean for us to have a passion for justice? You'll hear later on today about some upcoming webinars and Zoom meetings that will allow for mutual learning. They will be opportunities that were originally scheduled for workshops at our annual gathering. And so please see our newsletter, our regional voices, and our website, our webpage, for information about those webinars and how to register for them. The new idea that I want us to begin thinking about today is this, and it's one for you too, David, and that is David Vasquez-Levy, President Vasquez-Levy. It's if we can work it out, I would very much like to engage a seminarian to help coordinate Miracle Day and our educational engagement, and that means I would like for our regional office, whether in person or virtual, to be a field education site so that we can begin to help seminarians know more fully that the regional church is church. That no, we're not a congregation, but we are a collection of congregations. And there's much that a seminarian working with us can learn, and much that we can learn from this next generation of ministers. I am excited about what I'm hearing from ministers much, much younger than I am, from ministers who are in training, who are just doing ministry differently, whose faith is firm, whose commitment to justice, whose commitment to the church being fully engaged with the world is so very strong that it gives me hope and a sense of excitement about our future. So we'll be talking about that further, and no doubt talking to field education people at PSR about that as well. So this is the work, friends, that we are called to do. Each of us will need to be engaged and stay engaged with one another as we continue this work. So let me invite you to do 3 things. These were the things that when I was a pastor in Ohio and preparing teenagers and young people, and sometimes adults, for baptism and full membership in the church, I would be asked, what does a member do? Why should I be a member of the church? What do you expect of a member? And I would say there were 3 things. First one is to show up, to be regular in your attendance and worship. And I don't tell you what that is, although, every Sunday's good, a few times a month, if you can't be there every single Sunday. Show up, be engaged. And that's the work that you all are doing that fills my heart with so much gratitude. The second one is to be engaged in one of the ministries of the church. There are ample opportunities for all of us to be engaged in the ongoing ministries of the church. We are faithful in our congregations, and for that we thank and praise God. But there are other opportunities for ministry as well. And if you are interested in being engaged and serving on one of our committees, serving in one of our ministries, let me know. And I will get you to the right people so that you can continue to be engaged and bring your gifts to this very rich regional table that we have. The third thing, and this is for Frank, our regional steward, but really for all of us. The third thing is to support the church financially, to support the region financially. And there's a couple ways you can do that. We have an annual fund that you can contribute to. Anytime you feel so inclined and generous, you can go to the donate button on the region's website and make a contribution to the region. We have a Christmas offering that will be coming up. One of the special day offerings that the whole denomination participates in. Every dollar raised in the Christmas offering stays in the region. You can do all of that and we'll receive all of it. What we really want you to do is to put, in addition to all of that, is to put Disciples Mission Fund in your church's budget, so that as you support Disciples Mission Fund, you support the region, you support every ministry in the Christian Church Disciples of Christ in the United States and Canada, including the ministries that happen overseas, as we are in partnership with ecumenical churches around the world. That's how you help to fund reconciliation. It's how you help to fund justice. It's how you help to fund ministries of women and men and youth. It is how we participate in being part of that movement for wholeness. So with that said, I will thank you. And if you have any questions, put them in chat or send me an email, and I'll be happy to answer those questions. And if I can't answer them, I will get you to the person who can. Thank you so much for this time and for being with us. It is a good way to spend a Saturday. God bless.